A long time ago, there was a fellow who lived in Ireland, and there was a terrible, terrible thing, because a terrible hump on his back. His hump was so big, the poor fella was bent over like this, and even when he tried to sit down, he'd have to hold his chin up with his hand because of the weight of the hump. It was absolutely huge, huge hump. But the thing about this wee fella is that he never cursed his hump or cursed God. He just made his way through life as well as he could. And what he done was, his hands were great. He used to go and he used to cut reeds, and he'd sew them and get them soft, and he'd make baskets. And he'd go round the country with a wee cart, and he'd sell the baskets. And anybody that bought the baskets, they'd always give him an extra penny. And it wasn't out of charity, because the baskets were so, so beautiful. And the wee fella had enough money then to get a bit of food, a bit of roof over his head. He was still very, very poor. And the clothes he wore were almost rags. He always made sure he wore a big clump of foxglove, with foxglove big pink flowers, which in Irish is known as Lus Mor, the great herb. And so the wee fella eventually became known as Lus Mor. And Lus Mor went around all the countries and all the towns, and he was selling his wares, and folk would always say hello to him, and also a good word for them. Now one day, we went out to a town, he took his wee cart, and he was selling his baskets. And he sold them all, and he was going to make his way back to his own home. And he was walking very, very slow and very, very painfully because of the hump. And as he was walking along, the night came on. And he realised it was going to get dark before he got home, and he'd have to try and find somewhere to sleep. And he looked around, and he saw a hill, not crafted. And he thought, I could cool down against the side of the hill, against the warm grass there, and try and keep warm during the night. So he went up to the hill, and he laid himself down, him and his wee hump, and he laid against the side of the hill. And he tried to get some sleep. It was very, 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 very cold. It was cold and cold, and he was feeling a little bit sorry for himself. And he lay there, and then he heard the most beautiful sound. It was like a thread of noise, but it was exquisitely beautiful. And it filled him up. But it was so quiet, he was almost feared to breathe in case he lost the sound. And then the sound got louder and louder and louder as he lay there. And it was the sound of singing. It was the sound of hundreds of thousands of voices singing. The strange thing was, it was so quiet. But he listened and he listened and he listened. And he realised the voices were singing a song. It was a very, very simple song. It was just Monday, Tuesday in Old Irish. And he was listening to them, and the song went on. Daluan, Damot, Daluan, Damot. And he lay there listening, and the song filled him up, and he was absolutely taken with the beauty of it. It filled him, and he found himself starting to sing the song as well. And he was so taken that he even added his own little words to it, and added Wednesday to it. So the song went, Daluan, Damot, Agus, Dakidi. And when he finished adding his own words, suddenly the voices stopped. And a huge wind came, and it grabbed a hold of Lus Mor, and it picked him up, and it threw him round and round and round and round, and it threw him straight at the hill. And then he went through the hill, and he was inside the hill, and it was outside it, and it was whirling round and round and round. And then the breeze, the wind got slower and slower and gentler, and he could hear all these voices singing, Daluan. And he was moved a little bit more down further, and the breeze was carrying him like a feather in the summer, and moving him down further and further, Tamor. And he got nearer and nearer, and he looked around, and he could see all these little lanterns, and the lanterns were made of silver and gold, and rubies and diamonds in them. And as he went further and further down, he looked down, and he saw all the little people, thousands of people this size. And they were all looking up at him, and they were all smiling, and they were all singing the words that he began to them, Agus Dakidi. And with that, the breeze took him, and it laid him down as gently as a mother laying down a child, and lay him down on the ground. And all the wee people there, they all started cheering, yay! Clapping and looking at him, and smiling and going, wow! And one wee fella ran right up to him and jumped on his leg and shouted out, Lus Mor, do not despair and deplore for your life. That hump you have bore on your back is no more. Look on the floor, Lus Mor, look on the floor. And Lus Mor looked on the floor, and sure, his hump had fallen off his back and was there beside him. And all the wee people started shouting out, stand up, Lus Mor, stand up, Lus Mor. And of course, Lus Mor had never stood straight in his life. And so he put his hands to his side, and he straightened all about, and straightened his legs, and he began to stand up. And it was a terrible, terrible, frightening thing to do. He didn't even straighten his leg. He managed to go up and up and up. And he could see the ceiling of the inside of the hill. And he was thinking, my head's going to touch it. And he was getting taller and taller. And all the people getting further and further away. He was getting more and more frightened. And then suddenly he was standing up absolutely straight for the first time in his life. And he was so overcome with emotion. He burst out crying and fainted. Well, he woke up the next day. And he was outside the hill. And he was thinking to himself, oh, I hope it wasn't just a dream. And he put his hand behind his back. And sure, the hump had gone. Well, he stood up then, and he said a prayer to God, thanks, and he said a prayer to the other people in the hill, thanks as well. And then he looked down at himself and he realised his rags had vanished as well, and they'd been replaced by a fine, fine suit. Well, Lus Mor, he saw his fox go on there, he started walking through home. And every time he saw a neighbour or anybody would say, good morning, they'd look at him and say, good morning, who are you? I'm Lus Mor. Lus Mor. And so they wandered around the whole of the country. Lus Mor's been changed. Lus Mor's been changed. He's got a suit now, he's lost his hump. And they wandered out, and they wandered out. Well, of course, Lus Mor now had a grand life, but he was still a humble man. He still got on, just working his weaving and saying hello to folk. And he never became conceited or arrogant with it, he just carried on the good person he was. And one day he was in his little house, there was a chap at the door. And he opened the door, and there was a woman. And she said, I'm looking for Lus Mor. He said, I'm Lus Mor. Ah, so it's true then. You've been changed. You've lost your hump, have you? I have. Well, I wonder if you could help me. You see, I have a sister, and she's got a boy, the same age with you, a young man, and it's called Jack Madden, and he's a terrible, terrible hump too. And I was wondering if you could tell me how you get rid of yours. And Lus Mor said, come away and I'll tell you. He took the woman in and gave her a cup of tea. And he told her, go to Knockgrafton, lie down beside Knockgrafton Hill. They'll be singing there. Add a couple of words to the song. It was Monday, Tuesday, added Wednesday. The next thing I was taken inside they got rid of my hump. The little people in the hill were all cheering. They gave me a suit and put me outside. And the woman said, that's amazing. He said, I'm going to even draw you a map. We drew a map and gave it to her. And the woman said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to go to my sister there and we're going to sort out Jack Madden's hump. And she left. And the thing with the woman when she left, there was not even the slightest blush on her cheek. Because she was one of those women, who was a wicked, wicked, nasty woman. She'd always been spreading rumours. She was one of the women who'd always said about Jack Madden when he had the hump, the reason his hands are so good is because the devil lives in his hump. She was an awful woman. And her sister was an awful woman. And their son, Jack Madden, was even worse. Is that my breakfast? Come on, let's have it now. Without the excuse me hump, and what would say, how are you? How are you? He was the most nasty creature. Every way that Lus Mor was good, Jack Madden was bad. But he's married, and her sister said, Jack Madden, we know how to get rid of your hump now. We're going to put you in this cap. We're going to take you to a hill. You'll hear the fairies singing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You add in Thursday, we'll take you into the hill. We'll get rid of the hump, and we'll give you a nice suit. Oh, about bloody time too! And they put him in the cap, they took him to the hill, and they laid him down beside the hill, and wee Jack Madden lay there, and his song started. Taluad. Come on, it's my Nicklin! Tamor. And he's thinking to himself, no, here I need a Wednesday, Thursday and a Friday, and I'll eat 2 suits! Oh, hurry up! Tamor. Agnes Takadin. And he just jumped out, and he began to shout out in somebody's voice, Agnes Takadin, come on! And the next time the wind came, grabbed a hold of him, threw him inside the hill, and he was going round fast and fast and fast and fast and fast. And then the one, whoo, bang, threw him on the ground and he lay there. And all these people looked at him and all started running at him with all the wee eyes were all staring at him and they were shouting, ah! And they all came out and pointed on vicious. Jack Madden, they said, Jack Madden, your works came so bad on your soul that they gladden in the hell that you're having. For that, 2 humps, Jack Madden, 2 humps. And next thing, 20 wee fairies and I know that the Lus Mor's hump, they jumped on his back, they took out nails, his mother and her sister, they came and they saw Jack Madden and he was lying there and now there was 2 humps. And they looked at him and they didn't say a word because they knew, the fairies say nothing. And they put him in a cab and they took him back to their house. And they put him in bed and Jack Madden was cussing and swearing, spitting more than ever. And he was so angry that within 3 days he died. And it said that the very last words on his lips or a curse on anyone who goes singing with the fairies.